Well, we adopted our first son, Jordan, in 2014, and we found out shortly after we finalized his adoption that his birth mother was pregnant again. We prayed for her in the pregnancy, but we didn't really want to overstep any boundaries and ask her about what her plans were for the baby. But we prayed for the baby. And 3 days before she was set to deliver, we got a phone call from our adoption attorney. And she said, "Hey, your birth mom is pregnant and she is due to deliver this Friday. Would you consider having this baby in your home too, so that the brothers can be raised together?" And so we had like 24 hours to decide if that was something we were ready to do. And of course, we totally agree that the boys should be raised together in the same home. And we said yes to another adoption journey, embarking on another adoption journey and making that financial commitment and the relational commitments. That was just one aspect of it. And we felt very confident, more confident in this calling to adopt him than we've felt in any other calling in our lives. In our custody, we found out that his birth father refused to sign the adoption papers.
Yeah.
And he has had a very troubled history with multiple felonies and attempted first-degree murder, and I mean, just really scary rap sheet and unstable living conditions, and yet still was animate about not agreeing to the adoption.
Mm-hmm.
And we were told that because of the abuse that occurred in the relationship with the biological mother, that he would have been considered to have legally abandoned the pregnancy, and his parental rights would be terminated, forcibly terminated, and that we could go ahead with the adoption. And we fell in love with him within 2 seconds, you know, and he'd become a part of our family, and he'd met all of the relatives and extended family, and our boys, our other boys, and Jordan, his biological sibling, I mean, just absolutely adored him. Every morning I woke up, I'd lean over into the bassinet and I would just start crying, because the impending burden of, you know, knowing that soon I would have to take him back to Florida and hurt my children and hurt his birth mother, and just all the hurt that everyone would have to experience. It just wasn't right, and I was just heartbroken and sad. You know, I learned that a little smidge of what it must have felt for our birth mother to have to give up her boys, because it was in their best interest, and she knew that, and she loved them. But if anything, I got a little taste of what it felt like to have to give up a child. And I never want to experience that again.
Yeah. That was one of the things that it taught us in this process, was that when you place a child, your own child, for adoption, the part of yourself that you are sacrificing. And so it gave us a much greater perspective of birth parents and the difficulty that it is to place your child for adoption.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We knew that God loves Isaiah even more than we ever could love him. Mm-hmm. So we knew that whatever was going to happen was going to happen, because God has a journey and a story for Isaiah's life, and we just really prayed that we would get to be a part of that. All three of us want the best for this child, and it was a miracle. It was the dream that I had, you know. It didn't look exactly the same as that dream looked, but I had doubted, and I didn't trust God, and I didn't, I was so confused, because I thought that this calling, I was so confident in this calling to adopt this little boy, and then to have all of this, just all this horribleness happen, and then to have this redemptive end, this beautiful redemptive end to this story, to this tragic, story of losing an adopted child. It was just so beautiful, because now we have a relationship, an open adoption relationship with not only the birth mother whom we've come to love and respect and cherish her relationship, but now we have a new relationship with Isaiah's birth father. And we get to send pictures back and forth and talk on the phone and witness to him and tell him about our faith and our love for Jesus Christ, and how that shaped our hearts and our stories and our decision to adopt children. And he has been blessed by this relationship too. And he is so happy that Isaiah is being cared for and just given the love and the affection and the attention that he deserves, that he knows that he wouldn't have gotten if he had to go back to his birth mother, who placed him for adoption. So we're just really happy that with the outcome of all of it, you know. So it's just been really cool. It's a really cool story.